Speaking of the queens coming up on the King and Queen of the Ring, well, these weren't the queens of the ring. These were actually, it is the queen of the ring, Rhea Ripley. She's always going to be the queen, or possibly even the goddess of wrestling, the ruler up above in the heavens of wrestling, Rhea Ripley. All praise to you, Goddess Rhea.
Jesus.
And Raquel, our friend Raquel Rodriguez. See now, Rhea Ripley, Raquel Rodriguez. See, it just rolls off the tongue. In a street fight. And besides, well, first of all the women. I mean, I know that the first show or two they went over there, they worked in sweatpants and sweatshirts because who has full body scuba suits on hand in a normal world when you're a pro wrestler? Now they've gotten, all the stuff custom made and everything, and it's lovely gear, but it is ridiculous in not only the scuba suits, what the fuck is wrong with those people over there, but also with Rhea Ripley and Raquel, they're both approximately the same height. They both got long black hair, and they were both wearing black from literally from head to toe and from shoulder to wrist and everything. You could see their hands and their faces if the hair was down. At some points, I'm thinking, does anybody in the cheap seats even know which one is which? Did you notice that when they're just all...
There are no cheap seats.
Well, okay, in the farther away places. But nevertheless, they were both very aggressive here. They laid their shit in. But it was a street fight, and the kendo sticks, and they fought on the desk and did the power bomb through the desk hood into the sound pit. And the first 2 or 3 minutes, I was like, okay, they're starting to go here. And then they started using the furniture and the stairs. And Rhea took her belt off and whipped her about 50 times. And then hit her with a razor's edge and a kick and got a 2 count. And then Rhea got her clover leaf on. So in the middle of them, just again, there's sticks and bullshit laying around, and they're back to a wrestling hold. I wish they wouldn't. They're poisoning Saudi Arabia too. They'll think, well, they're supposed to have all this shit in wrestling. But then here, as Rhea got the clover leaf, Roxanne Perez, who also came into the ring covered from head to toe in black pleather, ran in and broke the hold in front of the referee because it's a street fight, no DQ. So then Rhea chased Roxanne around and bumped her on the floor and pulled out a garbage can and put it on Roxanne and kicked it. But then Raquel ran down and posted Rhea and ran her into the stairs and gave her a splash. 2 count. I said, there's more? And then they went back to the fucking match. Roxanne Perez disappeared. Apparently she was either killed or paralyzed. And the referee just let all, again, because it's a street fight, all this stuff goes on. And then they started the match again, and they set a table up across the top rope with it balanced in front of the turnbuckle, but across the top ropes so that they could both get up and balance on it. And then Raquel helped Rhea to the point where, because they don't want to fall off and break their fucking necks, right? So they're trying to balance and not fuck this up. They're not goddamn circus performers. But when Rhea is picking her up for the riptide, Raquel, as she's bent over, she had to reach back with her right hand and her right arm and put it up so that Rhea could hook it without throwing it. And then she gives her the riptide off the table. Oh, and one of the referees had to hold the edge of the table so that, and people on Twitter were fighting about it. Because some people said, look at the referee holding the table. And the other idiots were like, well, what do you expect him not to hold the table and they fall and hurt themselves? No, don't do this stupid shit. Would be an idea, just a concept, just a thought to run by somebody. What next time, put a table up there, balance the two chairs, and bring your pet dog. And have the dog with a ball on top of the two chairs, and then you put the thing in your mouth that allows you to bite down on the edge of the chair, and you can balance it while flapping your wings, blah, blah, blah. I'm so sick of this shit. These two you could buy them in a wrestling match as two physically threatening individuals that could potentially do some damage to each other if they weren't trying to make them do goddamn Buster Keaton silent movie routine shit. Your thoughts?
I like Buster Keaton, so I'm not going to complain too much. The General, Steamboat Bill Jr., so many different things. But
yes,
I thought this was okay. I mean, again, it's the awkward dynamic of everyone being dressed head to toe. I don't even know why you just don't bring the women at that point. Roxanne Perez wasn't even wrestling. They flew her over to put on that outfit and run out for this. But I thought it was all right. I like, Rhea's, I think, the best there is. But I like Rhea and Raquel together. We've seen them multiple times over the years, probably since NXT, or maybe shortly after that. She's at least Rhea. She seems like someone who could beat Rhea.
Yes. And I'm not criticizing the talent's effort here. I'm criticizing the stuff they either feel they have to do or are asked to do or have been this whole fucking thing with now everybody's. That used to be the derogatory thing of some people who like wrestling, either don't like wrestling, rather say, they're a bunch of stuntmen. Well, now you have to be. Because what the fuck you're balancing on ladders and tables propped over fucking shit. But here's the problem, Brian, and I don't know it. I was one of those children, right?
What do you mean?
I was one of those kids.
What do you mean?
And I was one of those kids that goddamn had to analyze shit. And it didn't even start even by the time I discovered wrestling, I noticed this from the Batman fights. So this goes back to when I was 5, 6 years old. I noticed that wrestlers are better at making a fight look good than movie and television stuntmen. Because I loved the Western saloon fights and the Batman fights. And, look at the bump the heel took. And there's the chair and what a die. So I always studied those. Maybe it was meant to be. And by the time that I discovered wrestling, I realized, well, wait a minute. This is, over here. And then I started picking apart the stuntman's fight scenes, except for Robert Conrad in the Wild Wild West, who was probably the best television performer in a fucking fight scene during his era. But nevertheless, the stuntmen, Brian, this was the point of this, they're better at taking the bump off the balcony. In the Western, bam! The fucking heel, the outlaw that's trying to ambush the hero is up on a second or third floor there at Doc's office, and he's got the gun and he's pointing, he's waiting, and the hero shoots him and bam, and he takes the bump over the rail and into the dusty street. Now that was a bump I didn't see wrestlers taking. The stuntmen had shit or when they jump a motorcycle over something and leave the motorcycle in midair and they fly through the saloon window and come out the other side with a fucking muffler up their ass.
They had motorcycles in the West?
Well, you know what I'm saying.
The saloon window, yeah.
The stuntmen did all that shit just fine, but they couldn't fucking fight. And the wrestlers could fight, But back then, they weren't taking bumps off the fucking balcony and jumping over Caesar's Palace fountain. So I think everybody should stick to their goddamn specialties. That's the moral of that story.
All right. Well, that was that match. And there was more to come from this spectacular. If you think about visiting, they got wonderful tourist packages, apparently, from Saudi Arabia.
And just make copies of your passport, just in case you need to have it tattooed on your ass, in case you need to prove